I, in my hand, behold the iPhone 5S, and today I'm going to be seeing if it's worth it in 2026. So, I originally ordered this for £30, which, in my opinion, is a little bit steep, but I mean, yeah, prices nowadays. So, yeah, I'm just going to get into the phone. Yeah, very simple password. And as you can see, I have the phone already set up. So, yeah, this is running iOS 12, and I will actually show you it is. So yeah, as you can see, this is running iOS 12.5.8, which Apple actually has a security patch for this up until 2027. Golly. So yeah, iMessage and stuff will be usable. That is actually a good sign. And yeah, so iOS 12 is actually a pretty good operating system. And the iPhone 5S released back in 2013. I just love this design. The small form factor, the camera bars. Well, the black design, chef's kiss. But yeah. So today I'm gonna be looking at the functionality. What can it do? So first of all, obviously you gotta play some YouTube. So why not? And okay, so yeah, it took around like what 5 seconds to load YouTube. Let's see if we can play a video. I mean, it probably will be able to since the iPhone 4S can, but can it play like actual YouTube and not be slow? Speakers are a bit timid, but that's obviously to be expected. I'm not gonna expect much out of this phone, but it's tiny, you know. And what happened? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I mean, it's playing YouTube at 360p, which should be enough for most people. It doesn't really look like 360p, but it plays YouTube. Now, this thing has 1 gig of RAM and isn't very powerful. But what I can tell you is that this is a beast when it comes to, cameras, speakers, all that. You know what time it is? Music time. Got time. You know my videos, I always play music after I watch videos. Because, yeah, you need to test that. Okay, I'll just put Sky High on because I want to. Or we can switch straight back to energy, I don't mind. Or we can switch back to Sky High. That's okay too. And volume actually gets pretty decently loud here. The bass is actually pretty decent on this, but it's not too bad, but it's not too good either. And yeah, it's actually not too bad. You can hear the clarity is honestly pretty decent here. It's honestly not too bad. Bass is respectable, clarity is respectable, everything's respectable on these speakers. And yeah, as you can see, we have two downfiring speakers here. So it's a quad setup here, technically, and it's still pretty good because the spatial audio is not honestly that bad at all. So I've tested the speakers, and now what about camera? Because you obviously need to know about that. And as I've talked about this, I'm extremely shocked. And yeah, this is the camera quality. Let me just take a photo. And yeah, this is my hand as if it wasn't clear enough. Clarity is insane on this. Amount of detail you can see, not really washed out or anything like that. But the 8 megapixel sensor this thing has over here, just one sensor, it can do 5 times zoom, and yeah, the image quality is insane. Here's another image for comparison, and look at the color depth, color ratio on this, bro. And speaking of 5 times zoom, the clarity is insane, just insane for 5 times zoom. I'm honestly super impressed with this, how it looks and came out. I'm just wow. And as per the video, I'm shocked as well. Like this is wow, wow. Just now, this phone's performance so far isn't actually too bad. Like doesn't have any major slowdowns. Lags a little bit, but not too much actually. So speaking of performance, let's go into app support. Now you can go into the app store and download older version of the apps. You probably know that by now if you've seen a lot of my videos. But let's talk about how well they run actually, because you want apps to run good even if they're older apps. You still want to get that fun experience. And I'm loading up Geometry Dash, and surprisingly, this is the fully supported version, the newest version you can get with Geometry Dash, which is really surprising for iOS 12. But oops. But yeah, let's try the tower to see how well this performs. Because this is probably the most demanding part of Geometry Dash. And I did not expect it to perform this well. Like, honestly, did not expect it to perform this well. But yeah, so it can play the tower just fine. It can play Geometry Dash just fine. But now let's move into Subway Surfers because that's a more challenging game and does not always run well on every device. So I'm interested to see how this goes and how many stutters we're gonna have. So as far as I'm concerned, loading time really, I mean, it's just the regular loading time for Subway Surfers, and yeah, as we just saw there, it loaded in, and so far, I mean, on the actual game itself. There's not that much stuttering as as I would expect. But let's just hop into a game, see how much stuttering we actually see. And okay, what? There's like literally no stuttering at all in the game. How how is this even possible? Now this is the older version, the Halloween update from like October 2024. Of course we get an ad. Like why wouldn't it have that? Like even the iPhone 6 had like a lot of stuttering at the start and then gradually built up, but this has no stuttering at all. I'm really surprised to say that because what I mean the iPhone 6 has stuttering, I mean it had a lot of stuttering. Like, we had one stutter there, but I'm still seriously impressed that we have like no other stuttering there. How? This is okay. Well, it can handle Subway Surfers just fine, and I did not notice any slowdowns. But what about Brewmasters? Because this is probably one of the most challenging out of all of them. Yeah, and Brewmasters just crashed. I figured. Yeah, and let's test the last game before we get into some Superhero League because why not? That's a classic game for some people. I mean, hey, it's loading up. This is also a pretty demanding game if you think about it. So if this runs well, I'm just morally impressed how the I have loaded into Superhero League and it's running perfectly fine, no lag whatsoever. So yeah, this can clearly run games with no problem. But there is one feature that did introduce to this iPhone, and that is Touch ID, which was back in 2013, and this was the first ever iPhone to have. And yeah, this was pretty revolutionary, just to unlock your phone with your finger. And people just saw it as a gimmick back then because they didn't know how incredible this was. Yeah, so you do have to go through a bit of a process, but honestly, it's still pretty good. And yeah, so it works well. This is the first generation Touch ID sensor, so it may not be perfect, but it's definitely better than the S5. So yeah, and yeah, it's done. So now when I unlock my phone, Touch ID works, and it works pretty well, honestly. Boom, just like so. Yeah, this is the iPhone 5s, and honestly, in my opinion, still pretty usable, depending on what you're doing. I mean, yeah, I would highly recommend this just for literally basic stuff, but not if you're using WhatsApp or any of that stuff. So yeah, and this has support till 2027. Let me know what phone you want me to review next because I'll happily do that.